healing looks different for everybody. And some people can say, well, by now you should be able to do such and such and such and such. You would never hear me say that to anybody because, first of all, everybody does the best that they can with the capacity they have to do it with. And although you may feel that they should be at a certain point by now, who are you to judge that? Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is ElegantGranny, your restoration strategist. Today I'm just a person who's I think today we're gonna do a lock and talk because I have locks in my hair. And so I washed them today. And so hold on, let me put this up. All right, got that done. All right, pardon me. I had to put that up out the way. I don't need that right now. So anyway, today is December 21st. While we're doing this lock and twist, lock and talk, I'm going to try to remember what happened around my 21st birthday. I'm not really remembering a lot. I'm not. So, anyway, I'm just going to talk. I love that there are so many beauty products out there for us to take care of ourselves right now. And so it's not like we are ended up with stuff that just doesn't work. We just have to find what works for us. So I don't know about you, but there are different parts of my life, and I guess you can include my birthdays when it comes to this. There are certain birthdays that I remember where they were considered like a rites of passage, so to speak. And I do remember my 21st birthday being one because, quite naturally, society deems you in America as a full grown adult. And so what I remember is because I was still in church at the time, I am using this by Ava Estell. It's a growth hair oil. So what I did, sidebar, of course. So they had a bundle a few months ago that was $44, and it included this hair growth oil. It also included this activating body scrub. Now, this right here, I don't care for it for my body. It's too heavy for my body. And it's so thick that I feel like it clogs the drains when I'm done. But when I tell you it is the perfect antidote for my dry hands and my dry feet, this right here, if you deal with dry feet and dry hands, because certain occupations have you wash your hands a lot, especially if you're in teaching or childcare or nursing or cooking, this is a winner. And if you're someone who suffers with dry feet, this, oh my gosh, it reminds me of the bag balm that we used to use on our hands and feet years ago. And if you don't know what that is, look that up. Those who grew up on a farm or had anything to do with being on a farm, you know what that is. I also have this magic cream. This is something they said to use after you use the body scrub. It's supposed to help soften and all that stuff. And then they have this summer body cream. Evidently, I probably got the summer bundle or whatever. This right here, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Now, the thing is, shea butter, coconut oil, all of that stuff just sits on top of my skin. That's basically all it does. It just sits on top of my skin. But how I'm able to use this instead of using it as a moisturizer, if it's very, very windy and I'm going out in the wind, It's very good for my skin for that. It helps my skin from getting beat up by the wind, and I'll use it just for that. And once I get back inside, I'll blot it off. But that's the only way I can use things like coconut oil or shea butter. That's the only way. Shea oil. That's the only way I can use this. Now, this right here, y'all. This right here. This is Manuka Honey face mask, and it is. I don't think I've used this one. My hands are so greasy from the body scrub, I can't even get it open. But anyway, it's a face mask, and I just go to the Dollar Tree and get one of these, and I'll put it on like that, and I'll leave it on for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll just wipe it off, and then I just keep it going. But this right here, y'all, this is really good. This right here is really, 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 really good. But those are the products that I did not talk about yesterday on a video that I did yesterday. I think it was a Vlogmas that I did, because I'm doing both the Vlogmas and the countdown to 55 at the same time. The Vlogmas will end Christmas Day, but I'm going to continue with the countdown to my birthday, because that's not till February. I finally got it open, y'all. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It's, oh my gosh, it's doesn't have like the prettiest smell, but oh my gosh, y'all, when after you're done with it with your face, it feels like it's just so smooth. It really is. But I'm glad I was able to get that open. That's the one I have not used. I'm finishing up one. So anyway, now to get to my hair. What I also use in my hair, because people have asked me how long have I been on with these locks. This is year 4 that I've had these, and I did not do anything. This is all freeform. I did not do anything. I don't do anything except keep it clean. Now, the only reason why I'm using this is because it came with that bundle. The only thing that I was actually looking for in the bundle was that Manuka honey face mask and this body scrub. These other things came with it. I said, I don't know what they are, but I'm just going to just go ahead, because that was a pretty good deal for all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different products, and I only paid $44. And I think it was valued just under $200 for everything. I think it was like 150 something, 190 something like that. But anyways, the quality of the product is very good. I must say that. However, for what they say to use it for, I can't particularly use it like that because of the way my skin is. My skin, shea butter just sits on top of my skin. That's just what it does. That's just what I have to deal with. But like I said, this right here, I do use it when it's very windy. I'll put it on my skin, and it helps protect my skin from whatever is in the air that could damage my skin or cause some things to happen, because I have very sensitive skin. And like I said, once I get inside, I'll only just blot it off of my face, not the rest of me. I'll just leave that. But yeah. But anyways, now let's get to the talk. What I do remember the age of 21 is, like I said, I was heavily into church at the time. And there was this, he was an evangelist. He was our national evangelist. I grew up as a COGIC. I was a COGIC. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a Pentecostal Holiness denomination called Church of God in Christ. And Bishop Charles Harrison Mason was the founder of that particular denomination of Pentecostal Holiness. And I loved it. I did. There were different parts of it I did not like. But for the most part, I really love the heart around the doctrine. I don't agree with everything about it, but But that's because by the time I came along, because see, when the founder, Bishop Mason, when he transitioned out, there was 8 years between him transitioning and by the time I arrived. So he transitioned, and what I mean by transition, past, deceased, all of that, was 1961. I was born in 1969. So there was 8 years between us from him leaving and me arriving. And so there were plenty of people still living, um, who knew him personally and have worked around him and remember some of the historical things that are not accounted for in the history books, because he was a very important part of our history. He did a lot for us. You do not hear him about him in the schools, in the history books, but he did a lot. He had a lot to do with um, helping with Malcolm X and Dr. King, and um, yeah, he did. I'm not going to go into the details or whatever of it, but he did do some things. He also was a powerful healer. That I remember. Now, getting back to my original story, 21 years old, and I was a nurse for this evangelist, um, Nathan Simmons. He's deceased now. My childhood bestie, Renee, and I, we were his nurses whenever he would come home to Virginia. And he didn't want anybody else, he just wanted us because we were very young. We were very young. And he said that God told him to have us in training for different stuff. And he did. Talk about portals opening up. Oh my gosh. So, y'all, the way our relationship worked, we were always getting into it because I am a very headstrong person. And it's not that I have to have things my way. If things did not make sense to me and you just wanted me to just do it just because you said so, that was not happening. Not happening. Not with me. Not the way my brain processes. I needed you to explain some things. And yes, I have a very high respect, high regard for my elders and people who are over me. But he was more like a big brother. But I still respected him. I did. But he taught me a lot about the power of prayer and what to say. He taught me some things about spiritual warfare. And I was happy, but I was sad at the same time when he did leave us. He left and he finally did marry and had some children. He's deceased now. And I think his wife is still in the ministry. I didn't get to meet her. I never went to the church. Now Renee, she did. Even when I was living in Atlanta, I never went because I think he was still living at that time. I want to say, I could be wrong. But anyway, I never went. Now one of my other adopted sisters, she went and she had a good time, and he remembered her and he told everybody who she was and where he knew her from and all of that stuff. I never went because I did not want to go through the process of us getting into it again, because we loved each other. We did. We loved one another, but we were both headstrong. And I did not want his family to see us like that. I did not want them to see us like that. I never used hair growth oil, y'all. I know I'm getting from the story. But since I paid for it, I'm using it. And you can tell I've had this for months. So you can tell it's rare that I even use it because, wait a minute, hold on, let me hold it. This is how much is still in there. And I've had this, um, I think I got this the end of summer. Yeah, because school had just started. And I got this then, or had school started. I may have gotten it at the end of summer school because I taught summer school this year. And so anyway, I did not want that to occur because I hadn't seen him since then. And me, in my head, I forget time has lapsed from the time that I've seen someone to if it's 5, 15, 20 years. I pick up where I left off. I forget sometimes that we age. I do. And some people think that's part of my fountain of youth because everybody says I do not look my age. I, however, think I do. That's because I see myself every day. But a lot of people think I do not look my age. Um, but I never think about old. I just don't. I don't. And I think part of that philosophy is because growing up, my grandfather used to always say, we don't get old, we get better. And he drilled that into us. And I honestly believe that. He said we age, he said, but we don't get old, we get better. And I understood what he meant by that. You mature. And so he never focused it on the outer. He always focused it on the inner. You age from the inside out. You don't age from the outside in. You age from the inside out. And it's based on the level of your maturity and how well you mature. And so I got it. I got it. So I never think about getting old. It's just something I never think about. But back to the relationship with Nathan, um, yeah, it was a great learning experience with him. I think we said our goodbyes when I was 22. I think I was 22. And he left and he went to Atlanta. I don't remember how he met his wife. Very beautiful lady. My mom keeps up with her. I do not because I didn't know her. I didn't know her. And he had finished doing his job with Renee and I. And yeah, and that's just what it was. But it was a rites of passage. And he came along when it was the appropriate time. He taught us what he needed to teach us. And that was that. And that's what I remember from my 21st birthday. That's what I remember. This right here is nothing but castor oil and rose water. Sometimes I put peppermint oil in it um, to help. It just depends on what time of the year. Sometimes I put tea tree oil in it. I don't think I have. Let me smell it. I don't think I have anything right in it right now. If I do, it's probably peppermint oil. I don't have anything in it. It's just castor oil and rose water, and that's all I use to spray my locks. Um, Once I wash my hair, and I only spray it that one time. If I use this anymore, it's I use this once a month during the summer months. During the winter months, because it's drier and I wear more hats and stuff, I might use it twice a month. But for the most part, I only do this once a month. Summertime, I might do it once a month, and then I might skip a month. It just depends because you hold more moisture during the summer months anyway. And so this is all I do, and I just work it in. That's all I do. Um, and like I said, I only do this like once a month. That's it. That's all I really need it for. A lot of times I skip a month. I just assess my hair and see what it needs. If it tells me it needs some moisture, I give it to it. If it doesn't, I don't really have a schedule for it. I just go by whatever my hair tells me. And she talks and she lets me know when she is in need of something. If she needs moisture, I do this. For the most part, I don't do anything with it and I just let it go. That's the reason why um, she's a little bit thicker than what most people theirs are. I do not go to a loctician. I have locticians in my family. My One of my baby sisters and my oldest niece. They are locticians. My oldest niece actually creates locks. She makes them. That's what she spends her downtime doing. She creates them. Um, and they said they love how I just, well, I just always been that free agent. I don't care how things look. If it's something I want, I don't worry about what it looks like. I just go ahead and just do it because that's what I want, and I don't care about the process, because some people always talk about the ugly stage. First of all, there's never an ugly stage when it comes to your hair. That I just don't care. I just don't care what people say. There is no such thing as an ugly stage. It's a growing stage. You may not care the way it looks. To me, it looks good because you have hair on your head. Especially nowadays where they have different products for women of color to keep their hair, because see, like this right here has been occurring since I was a little girl. My maternal, well, both sides of my family, there is some Native American heritage. On my father's side is Blackfoot. My mother's side is Cherokee. For me, for some of us, and I don't tie my hair up. I do not. This happens this time of year where it gets thin. When it gets to be spring, it gets full, and I end up with all this new growth like this. And it just gets bunches and bunches right here. And I do the same thing all the time. This time of year, it gets thin. That's just the way it is. That's just how my body works. And I don't worry about it. I used to wonder about it as a teenager because I was thinking maybe it was something that I was doing wrong. And the lady who took care of my hair at that time, she had been taking care of my hair since I was 12 years old. My grandmother started sending me to her. And she said, no, that's a family thing. She said, that's just something the way our hair does. And I'm getting this stuff all over my shirt. But but yeah, that's just how my hair does. It's just nothing you can do about it. It's just genetics. And there's some things you just cannot control. You just have to deal with it as it is. So I'm just gonna let this work itself in a little bit. Put my towel back on. I should have done this first. So now I have this stuff all over my shirt. But anyways, that's what I remember as far as like a rites of passage. Another rites of passage I remember, I talked about Girl Scouts. I think I told y'all about that, about Girl Scouts. Um, I remember another rites of passage of in my family, on both sides of my family, we are very musically inclined. And so my family sent me to Mr. Smith. He was my piano teacher, which I would probably do this story in another video. But they sent me to him. I didn't stay long, but there was so much that grew from that. But a rites of passage for me, it's healing from one place to the next place. And that's how it's worked out for me. It's not something I just chose, like I want to do this and then I go through the process to get there. Yes, that does happen, but mostly how I get there is I heal from one place to the next. And that's been the most successful way of how it works for me.